Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to IE Sports Radio's The Opening Series. I am your host, Adam Karnik. We have got a ton to get through to get caught up from over the weekend of sports. We had the College World Series begin in both baseball and softball in NCAA. We had a possible World Series preview in MLB. We've got the Stanley Cup and NBA finals are set and ready to get started this week. We will preview those. All kinds of tournaments were happening across the soccer world. We will get caught up on everything going on. There's some new champions being crowned in those tournaments, and lots of car racing. Tons to get to, only an hour to do it. We're going to have some help along the way. Some other prominent members of the IE Sports Radio team are going to join in and talk stuff with us. This is the opening series with Adam Karnik. Buckle on up, everybody. Let's have some fun. Let's go. And hello and welcome back on into IE Sports Radio. This is the opening series, our new Monday establishment here on IE Sports Radio, where we get you caught up on everything that happened in the sports world over the weekend and get you ready to get set for the week upcoming. We have got lots on tap tonight. We've got college baseball, college softball. Their World Series have started. MLB, meanwhile, gave us potentially a World Series preview over the weekend. We will look at that and get you caught up on that. We also have the NHL and NBA have their championship series set. The Stanley Cup Finals, we've got a rematch. The NBA Finals, meanwhile, we've got two very fresh teams getting ready to go at it. There were tons of tournaments going on in the soccer world and lots of auto racing going on as well this weekend. So a lot to get to, not a whole lot of time. This is the opening series on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We're going to have a quick word from our sponsors, and then we're going to dive right on in. Let's go. IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. And welcome back on in to the opening series here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnik with you here. We've got a ton that we're going to be getting into in the sports world here tonight, and we're going to be starting things off with some baseball discussion. The College World Series, both for baseball and for softball, is underway. And to help us break this down and get ourselves caught up, we've got one of several insiders here at IE Sports Radio that we're going to bring in. He is one of the three hosts of the Bullpen Bulletin. You can hear him along with his co-hosts on Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Mike Pat. Mike, welcome on into the show. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing well, Adam. How are you doing, sir?
Doing all right. Glad to have you aboard. Glad to see you here tonight. So let's start things off with the softball, shall we?
Absolutely. Let's go.
We had Texas taking out Tennessee today, and we've got Oklahoma and Texas Tech getting ready to see who's going to play Texas. So what are we thinking about the softball World Series right now?
Well, first of all, no way you can't love the possibility of Texas being matched up with either Oklahoma or Texas Tech in the final. I think that creates lots of wonderful storylines. It's been a fairly exciting tournament overall. I mean, we had some great upsets. We had number one Texas A&M getting eliminated by Liberty of all teams in the first round, which of course made the DMV proud in that one. Much better DMV representation on the women's side as opposed to the men's side, as we'll get into in a moment. But the thing is about both the both the softball and baseball tournaments is because of the system, because of the formula that they've put in place. Yeah, you can get a Cinderella for the regionals. They could make the super regionals. They might even make the final 8 of the College World Series. But the way the system works is it eventually kind of sorts all of that out, and you end up with the best teams in the nation duking it out. And that's what we've had so far in the World Series with Texas, who was actually one of the best teams in college softball for the majority of the season. A late season slump plus a poor SEC tournament performance caused them to drop to the 6th seed overall, but they very easily could have been top 3 had they not had those last couple slumps. Oklahoma obviously has been the top softball program 4 years running, so it makes sense that they would make the final 3. But Texas Tech, I mean, the 12th seed overall, yes, but interesting fact, have not lost a game yet. Completely undefeated, swept through their regional, swept Florida State, as much as that hurts my heart to say, and then have gone undefeated so far in the World Series and are currently leading Oklahoma, the darling program, 2-0 in a game that would eliminate the Sooners and put Texas Tech in the final. So great competitive softball being played. And I think there's just some wonderful storylines developing as we head through the final 3 teams and on to the final series.
All right, about 30 seconds left here, and then we'll switch over to the men's side. Who do you see right now jumping out for the women and ultimately winning this?
Well, interestingly enough, and not to brag, but I did pick Texas on our Bullpen Bulletin show last Tuesday. Once the final 8 had been set, I'm going to go ahead and stick with that prediction. I'm not going to change it. I think the Longhorns, whether it's Oklahoma magically winning 2 games in a row against Texas Tech or Texas Tech continuing their streak, really interesting matchup. You have the offensive juggernaut in Texas and a great pitching team in Texas Tech, but I think the offense is going to win it out. I have Texas.
All right, we'll stick with that then, and then let's switch over to the men's side. So the regionals are going on, and it feels like there's been a bit more volatility in the men's side. Is that an accurate statement? I mean, I see Louisville took out Vanderbilt last Friday down in Nashville, but what have you been thinking about the regionals so far?
A little bit more chaotic. I would agree with that sentiment. The top two seeds, Vanderbilt and Texas, both going down. But what's been really interesting to watch, aside from a couple of Cinderellas in their own right, you had University of Texas, San Antonio, who made it out of the Austin regional to make the super regionals. And they're probably the biggest upset right now. Murray State versus Ole Miss pending. I think that would also be a pretty big one. But has to be the storyline has to be the performance of the SEC. This is a conference that dominated college baseball and actually college softball as well. If you notice in the final eight, at least I think like 4 of the final 8 in college softball were SEC teams, but dominated college baseball for much of the season, had very good rankings overall. And then when Selection Sunday, or at least the college baseball equivalent of Selection Sunday, came, they got 13 teams of 13 of the 64, which was the most by far of any conference. They got 8 host teams, which for those of you who don't know, there are 16 regionals that start the tournament, and each one has the top seeded team in that regional as the host team. So they got 8 of the 16 were hosts, and even 6 of the top 7 overall seeds. And yet, of those 13 SEC teams, 8 have been eliminated in the regionals, with several more on the ropes tonight. I know Murray State and Ole Miss are going at it. That's one. I believe Tennessee is kind of sticking it to Wake Forest a little bit right now. So the Volunteers look like a pretty good bet. And then I've got, as much as I would love the story of University of Little Rock making the super regionals, I do think LSU is going to pull that out. But yeah, rather inconsistent performance from the conference that was universally considered the best in all of college baseball for most of the season.
And did I see correctly that there was an LSU team that has gone completely perfect on the season to this point?
I not to my knowledge. You mean baseball team or what
I
team?
thought it was college baseball. I very easily could be misremembering and misreading as well. So
But that does bring up an interesting storyline. So Coastal Carolina, not exactly a big name collegiate athletics school by any means of the imagination, but they went on a massive streak. I believe their win streak, as they swept through their regional, by the way, which included Eastern Carolina and Florida. So not exactly a cakewalk regional by any stretch of the imagination, but they swept through, and they have a win streak approaching 30 games. Now, I don't care who you're playing, a 30-game win streak in baseball is absolutely incredible. And now they're on to the super regionals to face Auburn, who's a juggernaut in their own right. So that could be a really interesting series.
absolutely, Mike. Yeah, I don't care what level, what opponents, or anything like that. A 30-game winning streak is always impressive. You don't need to put caveat. I mean, unless we're talking something like the Harlem Globetrotters, where okay, yeah, we know. But
Right.
other than that, if you're legit competition, yeah, that's impressive. That is absolutely impressive. Well, let's turn the page here a little bit and let's talk some Major League Baseball. Dodgers, Yankees. Whenever these two get together, you know it's always a big deal because it all the grandeur, all the history, you get to conjure up some of the truly legendary names in the sport. Is it overstating it to say that we got a potential World Series preview with this series over the weekend?
I don't think that would be an overstatement in the slightest, Adam. I mean, these are easily 2 of the top, probably if I were to, without even doing a deep dive into it, probably 2 of the top 5 teams in baseball so far this year. And that has not come perfectly for either team as well. The Dodgers have been bitten a little bit by the injury bug. You see little pockets here and there of guys missing time, having to kind of fill in some of the gaps, which I know with a team with such an absurd payroll seems like a minute issue. But if you're spending all of your money on your starters, your backups might not necessarily be the greatest. So they've managed to overcome that. in a surprisingly difficult division. We on the Bullpen Bulletin, we did think that there would be some good competition, but the way the West started in particular was rather incredible. Some of the teams have kind of cooled off since then. And then the Yankees have been dealing with issues with their pitching, with their rotation. Was supposed to be ace in the hole closer. Devin Williams has had a very inconsistent start to his season. And aside from Max Fried, the starting rotation has not exactly been crystal either for them. So both teams performing great despite some issues. The Yankees are starting to get hot, which is bad news for the rest of the American League. And the Dodgers, I mean, they've been pretty consistently performing all year with an absolute ridiculous lineup. I mean, you look at some of these numbers, some of these numbers feel like video game numbers when you look at some of these stats that guys like, not just Ohtani, but Freddie Freeman, but Mookie Betts, all these guys are putting up.
Yeah, they acquire talent like nobody's business. Yeah, and looking at the scores over the weekend, the Dodgers took the series 2-1, and runs were plenty over the weekend. You know, you had Friday night 8-5 Dodgers win, Saturday 18-2, one of the more ridiculous scores that you're going to see between these two, before the Yankees then finally did manage to salvage the finale yesterday 7-3 out at Chavez Ravine. Both of these teams currently sitting in first place in their divisions, and relatively comfortable leads too. The Dodgers 2 games up on the Padres, the Yankees already 5.5 up on Toronto. And like you said, just starting to heat up and just starting to get going there. Well, another story that I'm sure that you and your co-hosts are going to be discussing, and probably to some chagrin, knowing one of your co-hosts, what happened to the Diamondbacks over the weekend? How does a major league pitcher fail to record an out against 11 consecutive hitters on Saturday night? How do you describe that?
I guess you could call it I forget what the name of it is. Was it Murphy's Law? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. It was one of those nights where they could not just get a break. Well, first of all, interesting side note from that game, CJ Abrams of the Washington Nationals, which of course is why I follow that game so particularly closely, following the DMP teams, became, and I'm trying to remember this number, either the 10th or 11th player all time to be hit by a pitch twice in one inning. And that was part of that absolutely chaotic first inning that was in that game. I mean, look, you know, some games you just don't have it as a pitcher, and you hope as part of that, one of your, you know, defensive players, one of your guys behind you, can make something happen that might steal a hit away. You know, something to at least help you get some momentum. Like, oh, you know, maybe the outfielder makes a diving catch. I've actually seen that in some games where the pitcher is just completely off his rocker, and then a outfielder makes a diving catch, and boom, it's a whole shift, because now they're like, okay, we got that one. That wasn't happening either. The Diamondbacks had several opportunities. Now, admittedly, none of them were easy plays, so I'm not going to sit here and blame the outfielders for not making diving catches. But they needed one. They needed at least one of those in those first 9 to 10 guys to hope to maybe break that seal, and it just didn't happen. And it was just everything happening all at once. And, you know, like I said, when you don't got it, you don't got it. And in some cases, for some pitchers, when you don't have it, you really don't have it. And that was the case with, I believe it was Brandon Fault was the pitcher who unfortunately got recorded 0 outs and was credited for 7 earned runs. So if he had not started yet this year, that would be an infinite ERA.
It was not his first start. His ERA more than doubled, if I remember correctly. He went from
just around right. Yep.
Yeah, he went from just about 3 to just under 6. Ironically enough, too, what can also help a pitcher in that instance is just give up a home run. Just give up the home run. Then you clear the deck, and all right, now I can start over. But instead, it was just hit after hit after hit after hit after hit for the Diamondbacks. Well, Mike, thank you so very, very much for hopping on and breaking down some baseball with us. When can everybody catch the Bullpen Bulletin?
So the Bullpen Bulletin goes live on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time, talking all things baseball, college, pros, minor leagues, headlines, all of the above and more. Be sure to check it out.
All right. Well, there you go. Mike Pat, one of the co-hosts of the Bullpen Bulletin here on IE Sports Radio, breaking down some baseball for us. We are going to take for ourselves a quick break. And then on the flip side, we have two championship series that are about to get underway. The Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals. We will preview both of those next here on IE Sports Radio on the opening series, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
And welcome back into the opening series here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnik back with you here. Thanks again to Mike Pat for breaking down everything happening in the world of baseball. We really appreciate that and how that was going for you. Gonna switch things over, change gears here a little bit, and let's talk some hockey. One of the sports that is very near and dear to my heart. We have our matchup, the Stanley Cup Finals. They will begin on Wednesday night, 8:00 Eastern. And if it looks familiar, well, it's not deja vu. Do not adjust your television set. You are seeing things correctly. The Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers meeting for the second straight season. They will be doing battle. The one difference this year, the Oilers will have the home ice advantage as opposed to last year. It was Florida that had the advantage. Both teams came through finishing third in their respective divisions. So neither team had home ice advantage in any of their previous series before this one. This is the 12th time the NHL has had a back-to-back series like this where the same two teams meeting for 2 years in a row. And it's just the 8th time that this has happened in the expansion era. So since basically the mid 60s in the NHL. Ralph Calise hopping on over on YouTube, watching the show live. Thanks for watching, Ralph. I appreciate it. And he is going with Edmonton in a 7-game series. I will be breaking down a lot more of this series, myself and my co-host Zach Puplis, tomorrow night on the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio. 9:00 Eastern tomorrow night. We'll be breaking down a lot more of this. I think, first of all, I think either team could easily win this. Florida is the deeper team overall. 4 lines that can roll super deep, all playing a very similar physical, punishing style. And then on the backside, guys like Carter Verhaeghe and Matthew Tkachuk that can absolutely do damage and score seemingly at will for the Florida Panthers. And then in net, Sergei Bobrovsky has been lights out, dynamite, fantastic for the Panthers in these playoffs. On the other side, though, for the Oilers, you still have two of the greatest players in the game right now in Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. They can absolutely take over a game. They can single-handedly win you a game. The Oilers don't have obviously the same quality of depth behind those two, but nobody would have the same quality. You know, if you put McDavid and Draisaitl on Florida, we'd have the same criticism where it's, they just don't have the same depth once you get past those two guys, because they're two of the best players in the world right now. Where I am concerned for Edmonton is going to be in net with Stuart Skinner. Can he give you anything, just anything in net? What we have seen from Skinner so far in this series overall is in these playoffs, we have just seen either awful goaltending or we have seen terrific goaltending. And for me, that is just way too up and down for me to trust Skinner going into this series. But I do like Edmonton because you've got McDavid, you've got Draisaitl. It's hard to turn away from those two. And as long as those two guys are healthy, absolutely, they've got a chance. The NBA finals, meanwhile, they are getting started as well this week. Thursday night, we've got the Pacers and we've got the Thunder. If you're not a regular, consistent NBA watcher, you may be going, huh? Who are these two teams? What have we sunk ourselves into? And to kind of help us break this down and get ready for this series, one of our insiders here on IE Sports Radio, it is Angela and her lovely husband, Fred, breaking down the Oklahoma City Thunder. So good evening and thank you guys. First of all, what can we expect? Congratulations to the Thunder, first of all, for getting in. What can we expect in this series?
Honestly, I could see it going down to the wire. Indiana played sharp. They made the adjustments that they needed to make. I think that they put a lot of double and triple teams on Jalen Brunson, who's kind of holding the ball just a little too much, in my personal opinion. Tyrese Halliburton, he's been doing his thing. The role players on the team have been doing their thing. As far as the Thunder, my personal opinion, one of the things that really helped them is they have a really deep bench. And they have a lot of shooters on their team, and they gel well together as a team. So I think it's gonna be. I could see it going to a game 7.
Okay, so we're looking at a long series. Then you think?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, without a doubt.
All right, I like that. I like that. You know, sweeps can be fun, but when you have teams going back and forth for 6 or 7 games, that really makes for competitive television.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely going to be a tough matchup. First of all, I don't think anyone expected Indiana or the Thunder to be in the finals, which I think is this is the first time since 2012 that the Thunder have been in the finals. So I think that in itself is a testament to our team and to the coaches, even the front office staff bringing in the right people. I mean, they brought in Caruso and Hartenstein this year, which was almost like that extra oomph that we needed for, I think, to get us this far and hopefully get us that championship.
Well, if you think about it too, to add to that, bringing Caruso in, who's been a champion before.
Yeah.
So this isn't his first rodeo being in the finals. You know what I mean? But definitely bringing in that inside presence with Hartenstein to complement Chet Holmgren, who I think has been playing phenomenal in my personal opinion. It's definitely going to be fun. You know, if you're a real basketball fan, you don't really want it to end so soon. I agree with you when you said that, sweeps are fun, but to see that drag out fight, okay, they got us down 2 games. Let's pull up. You know what I'm saying? Let's get up here and let's start swinging again. And you're going and going.
Mm-hmm.
To see it all the way down, it just makes it all the more fun. So no, I agree, man. Definitely.
Tied it 1 after 2, tied it 2 after 4. Let's know that we're going deep into, and let's have a good, competitive, hard fought series. Yeah. So what does Oklahoma City have to do in order to win this series? What's the number one key?
They're gonna have to contain Tyrese. They're not gonna stop him.
I'm thinking defense is definitely, like you said, contain and Halliburton. It's just even Siaka, just staying on them. I'm not saying double, triple team them, but I'm just saying the right people on them, like a Lou Dort or something, who is known for their defense.
Forced turnovers.
Exactly, because that's where a lot of our points come off of forced turnovers.
And Oklahoma City is notorious for having really good high basketball IQ when it comes to offense and defense, especially switching back and forth. For the Thunder, as far as scoring, I think they need to go for good shots. When I say that, I mean, yeah, you want to go for your 3, but you want to go for those mid-ranges.
Not just throwing up anything just to throw it up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, set Shea up for the mid-range, which is some of his bread and butter. Set Jalen Williams up for the mid-range. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, definitely, Larry. We appreciate it. I had to catch that. Sorry to lose my train of thought, but you get where I'm going with it. The guys like Caruso, who is really smart, especially defensively, even offensively, he's really smart. But he's been playing really good defensively, even when he's been outmatched in terms of size. That's what I think. I think I would like to see Hartenstein score more.
Okay.
But he plays his role in playing defense and getting boards.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about basketball, whoever controls the boards controls the game. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. I think contain Halliburton, force turnovers, look for good open shots. Set your guys up who can shoot for those good mid range. Get those threes when you can, and then that deep bench really helps out a lot.
Yep. Be assertive. All right, I love it. Well, Fred and Angela, thank you guys for hopping on real quick. I know you guys are going to be manning the ship here tomorrow night doing the show. So have fun with that, guys. It is I will say it is a whirlwind bouncing around all the sports like this. So it is a lot of fun. But thank you guys for hopping on and giving us a little preview. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
Thanks for having us.
All righty. Fred and Angela, you can catch them tomorrow night right here, IE Sports Radio, getting you set up for everything going on in the sports world as well. WNBA standings real fast before we bring on our next guest. The New York Liberty having themselves a heck of a start to the season. They are now 7-0 after their handling of the Washington Mystics, 85-63 on Friday. Off to a fantastic start on the season. And then a quick peek throughout the WNBA standings. Everybody has a win now. We have no winless teams left in the W. It took a little bit. Connecticut and Chicago were bringing up the rear there. Even Golden State, the Valkyrie, the inaugural, the expansion team got its first win before Chicago did. But right now, the top of the line, clearly the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx, both sitting undefeated at 7-0 this week. Atlanta and Phoenix very close behind them at 5-2, and then a whole lot of mess throughout the middle. And then the Wings and the Sun bringing up the rear there for the Liberty and the Lynx this week. The Lynx, they've got a game tomorrow night against the Mercury, so a little bit of a step up in competition there. The Liberty will then take on the Mystics. That should be fairly straightforward for New York. And then both teams will then the Lynx will then play again on Sunday, taking on the Wings. That should be a pretty straightforward game for them. we've got another break coming up, but before we do, we're going to take a quick, we're going to get ourselves set up here and talk a little bit of domestic soccer before we talk about the important stuff and the good stuff, the overseas football. And to help us do that, the host of Shin Pans and Shenanigans, you catch her every Sunday right here on IE Sports Radio, is Jess. Jess, good evening. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm making it through. This is week 2. This is officially the first episode here for the opening series, and it is quite different from doing a regional or a single sports show. I'll tell you that right now. So thank you for coming on and giving us some help. So let's start things off in the MLS right now. We take a look at the table. What stands out to you right now as we take a look at the MLS table? We've got Philadelphia and Cincinnati on top of the Eastern Conference, and Vancouver and San Diego on top in the Western Conference right now.
I think it's definitely a surprise for, I feel like, a lot of people to see Philadelphia and Cincinnati battling it out for the number 1 and 2 spots.
Okay.
So I think that's definitely a surprise to a lot of people.
And as somebody that keeps a close eye on the Chicago sports scene, do the Fire have any chance of doing anything? I mean, they're 11th in the table right now. They're only a point behind New England, but there's a lot more teams in front than behind.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a little bit of work to do there for sure.
You don't have to be so diplomatic. It's okay. You can tell them they're bad. They know.
Well, they're not as bad as Montreal or Galaxy.
This is true. Galaxy did finally win a game, though. It took only 3 months?
Right. Yeah. The season started in February, and they finally broke their winless streak against Real Salt Lake.
Everybody's allowed to have a bad quarter of the calendar, not the clock, right?
Every now and then.
Every now and then. And then I know they were off this week with their bye and getting some of the tournaments in, but let's take a look over at the NWSL table a little bit here as they get ready to get back underway this weekend. We've got, sitting at the top, we've got Kansas City sitting all the way at the top there already with 24 points. Is that it to me, it feels like a little bit of a surprise to see Kansas City there, especially with the Orlando Pride, the defending champs, 5 points back at this point.
I definitely think Kansas City has given Orlando a run for their money this season, for sure. But they're looking strong. They are looking strong this season.
Okay. All right. Are they set up now at this point? Are they going to be able to make a run a little bit here? The current, as I'm taking a look at their upcoming schedule a little bit, they've got Gotham coming up this weekend, and then they'll have Louisville and Angel City this month. Are they set up so you're looking at teams that are closer towards more the bottom of the table a little bit, certainly with Gotham in 9th, Louisville in 8th. Are they going to be able to make a little bit of a run this month?
I think so. I definitely think so.
All right, we like that. And then Stars FC, do they have any kind of a prayer to do? I mean, shoot, they haven't even scored enough goals to fit every game yet. Is there any hope there?
I honestly don't think so, because I feel like they've got so much of a mess going on, like behind the scenes, that they need to get that in order to get the on-field stuff more in order.
All right. Okay. You're probably right. Well, just hang on just a minute. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take for ourselves a quick little break. And then when we come back, we're going to dive into some of the more, the higher end football. We had some good stuff going on. We had UEFA, we had CONCACAF, we had some good stuff over the weekend, and Jess is going to help break that down for us. This is the opening series here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at @sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on into the opening series here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnik back with you, alongside Jess, the host of Shin Pads and Shenanigans here Sunday mornings on IE Sports Radio. So, Jess, we got through the domestic soccer that occurred over the weekend. Now we get into some of the crazier, some of the more fun stuff from over the weekend. We have a brand new champion in UEFA Champions League. Paris Saint-Germain whooped Inter Milan 5-0. Tell us about this match. Tell us about this championship.
I mean, it was crazy. 4 games before halftime, was it? I think it was. I could be thinking of the CONCACAF. No, I think I'm thinking of CONCACAF because they were both 5-0. They both ended 5-0. It was crazy.
That is such high scoring in football. You know, we're not, at least me personally, I'm not used to seeing scores like this. Is that just a bad day at the office? how does that happen in as we have it in both? Is that a breakdown defensively? Is that just a miserable day in the office for the keeper? A combination of both? How does that happen at this level?
I mean, it's kind of a combination of things. The defense is not strong enough. The offense can't seem to get the ball. Sometimes the players are targeted by the other team to try to go and get it. So it's like a 3-on-1 situation. It was crazy.
All right. So we had Paris Saint-Germain win their first UEFA Champions League title. And then we also had a championship over in CONCACAF. Not a first time. Cruz Azul also winning 5-0. They win their 7th championship in CONCACAF, taking out Vancouver. But it had been a while. It had been 11 years for Cruz Azul. So take us through this championship for Cruz Azul.
Okay. One thing about the PSG that I found out is PSG have become the first French team to win a treble. So they won a treble this season.
Excellent. Well, good for them. Excellent on that. So,
and I couldn't believe this one. This one was the one that it was 4 goals before halftime. It was insane. It was disappointing to watch. For sure.
As Vancouver just had absolutely nothing it could do of any kind of consequence in net.
Yeah, it was. You could see the disappointment on all the players' faces.
You work so hard, you get to that point, and then it's just over and over so fast. And then you just have to play that back half knowing, there's time on the clock. They didn't put stoppage time on, did they, for this? And please tell me they did not include much at all stoppage time.
I don't think it was much. Might have been a couple minutes. I don't think it was much.
I'd be, if I'd be the players or the manager for Vancouver, I'd be calling the officials over and saying, look, we appreciate the sanctity of the game and all that. We're not scoring 5. It doesn't matter how much stoppage time you put on. We're not scoring 5 goals in the amount of it. Can you just call this, please? We're ready to be done.
Right. Yeah. And now it makes it official. All 3 Canadian teams have gone to a CONCACAF final and lost against a Mexican team.
Oh, well, I guess there's some symmetry there. Certainly some sympathy from your fellow countrymen. You can all relate. The newcomer brings the LeBlanc blue the first time when we meet,
Right.
Well, Jess, thank you so very, very much for hopping on and talking some soccer and some football with us here on the opening series, our first official episode. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. That is Jess. You catch her on Shin Pads and Shenanigans every Sunday morning right here on IE Sports Radio. And now things have to go fast and quick because Saturday morning. Excuse me, not Sunday morning, Saturday morning for Shin Pads and Shenanigans. Excuse me. I kept missaying that. Well, now things get to get crazy, and now things get to go really lightning fast because we're going to be talking auto racing. And that also means that the one, the only Larry B joins the show. Larry, good evening, sir.
Top of the evening to you, good sir. How are you today, man?
It's been a Monday. I am surviving, and we're doing. That's how we're doing.
Hey, I'm totally with you, buddy. It's been a Monday, and boy, you gotta love Mondays, right? But dude, you've done a hell of a job. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, can we get a hand clap in the audience somewhere?
Well, thank you.
This man is making. I gotta watch out for my damn job, dude. You're kicking ass. I love it.
Well, thank you. I have awesome help, and that really makes me look smart.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes it's all it takes, right? It's like having a good wife,
Oh, well, that's a whole
So
other
sometimes
conversation. Yep.
they just make you look smarter, So or
Exactly. It's
hey,
always the
buddy.
better half. Always the better half.
Right. Well, hey, man, it's been a great show, man. I've been loving it. I've been trying to chime in, but I've also been trying to be the producer here too. So it's been hit or miss.
Yeah, I appreciate that because all the behind the scenes stuff going on again just makes it all look clean, and that really helps. All right. So let's start this off, shall we? Detroit was busy this weekend.
Oh.
My goodness, Detroit was the center of the US racing world anyway, which for a lot of people, hey, that's all that matters. So we've got here the Chevy Detroit Sports Classic. Let's start in Detroit. Take us through this first one, Larry. We've got Sebastian Perot and Mike Rockenfeller dueling it out here in Detroit.
Well, they did it. They were in that car together. They completed these couple of hours. I mean, it's only one stint that they ran. The race was only about 2 hours long, but it was one hell of a race. These guys, they kind of dominated from start to finish. It was a very good race with these guys. The GTD Pro class is so much fun. Again, think about, well, maybe not really. I like to, I want to kind of put it out there. GTD is the cars on the street that are just to their full potential. Obviously not street legal.
All right.
They are. So when you see that beautiful Corvette cruising down the road, well, just think of it on steroids and souped up with every bit. I mean, we're talking pro intake, everything. We're talking about everything you could possibly do to that car to make it as fast as it can. Well, that's exactly what it is. So you're seeing these cars that are in the GTD Pro class as the top as they could possibly get. Obviously, like I said, not street legal, but they're amazing. So this Ford GT3 was amazing. This thing ran so well. And I mean, I'm just saying, I know this is the Chevrolet Detroit Sports Car Classic. However, it's Detroit. It's a Ford city. And I'll tell you right now, this Ford was hauling ass, man. This Ford made it happen. It drove so beautifully. The course was already set up for IndyCar, which of course we'll be getting into in a little bit
here in just a minute. Yep.
But man, it was flying. Talk about a great race. And honestly, I really, really, really enjoyed seeing these guys, man. Sebastian and Mike work so well together. They're great teammates. This car was unmatched in the GTD class.
Well, then we also had in there, we had Acura have a little bit of a good showing for itself. We had Nick Eulali and Ranger Van. Yep.
Van der Zandt.
For hockey names, I'd be fine. I got through Eulali, but somehow Van der Zandt threw me off. I tell you, well, when you talk for an hour, things happen. Open mouth say things. First rule of radio.
That's it. That you would be correct. Yes.
Take us through the number 93 Acura car, though.
This car has been great. This thing has run well in the races it's been in. And Acura, in this prototype classic, GTP, which of course is the fastest, this thing is incredibly fast. This car, another one, they dueled it out pretty well, the other cars in this class. I wish we can go further into detail with this one. I know we're only trying to do an hour show here, but oh my gosh. This was another car. You knew these two cars were going to be special when we started the race. And honestly, Adam, they both did very well in their classes. So, I mean, we talked about a great drive here from both of these. I really loved it. IMSA is just a special series. And it's something that I enjoy. And this was a race that I was looking forward to so much. Obviously, I don't want to say it's competitor because they do go back and forth. It's in case I want to clarify this for everybody. Some people do have the misperception that IMSA is, because IMSA has the Rolex 24, obviously, in January, which is a 24-hour race. Not to be confused with the other series on the other side of the world that does not include all but some teams from IMSA, and they do trade back and forth sometimes for certain events, which is the WEC, the FIA WEC, which is where the mighty 24 Hours of Le Mans is, which is going to be later on this month. So again, the IMSA has its, 8 races throughout the year. One of them is 24 hours, which is the crown jewel, starts off with the Rolex 24 at Daytona. And of course, WEC has its races that runs as well throughout the calendar year, mostly in Europe. And that one does contain the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which is coming up in 2 weeks. So like I said, but it's kind of cool. These teams actually, Adam, they for the crown jewels and some of the other races, they actually assemble their team and enter each other's series throughout the season sometimes. Crazy, right?
Yeah. To me, it's crazy that you have a driver do an IndyCar race in the early afternoon and then do a NASCAR race in the evening. That's right there blows my mind. Yeah, then you get into this and it's just what you got to you've got to sleep at some point, right? Because in order to operate a car at 200 miles an hour, I would think that you'd want to be somewhat alert. But apparently, just throw enough coffee in there and you can make it happen. So speaking of IndyCar, Kyle Kirkwood had himself a nice weekend. Coming off of course, the granddaddy, the Indy 500. We talked about that last Monday night.
Oh, yes.
Now we're in Detroit for the Detroit GP, and Kyle Kirkwood gets the victory, his first of the season.
I'll tell you right now, Adam, this was special. This was very special because Alex Palou dominated the damn year so far. Okay. I mean, the man has won 5 of 6 races. This was race number 7. Interestingly enough, he had a terrible day, but hey, you're bound to have one of those, right? When you're having such a great year. So it is what it is. It's kind of like a great team who's, the New England Patriots who goes 18-0 and goes to the Super Bowl and plays the Giants. Anyway.
You're allowed to, when you win 5 races in the beginning of the season, you're allowed to lose 1 in the middle of, the first part of June. It's allowed.
Exactly. I mean, Adam, look, Kirkwood, he hadn't won anything at all, obviously, this season because, Mr. Palou hogged it all. Obviously earning it, but Kirkwood, man, he automatically jumped up to his highest 3rd place right now. If you look at the standings, Palou is currently leading with 311 points. Pato Ward, Pato, great racer, man, great driver, 221. He's 90 points back, and now Kirkwood has brought himself almost within 100 points. He's 102 points back right now, currently in 3rd place. It's just been a great season so far for obviously Palou, but for everybody else, it's been let's try to catch up. I mean, just IndyCar was just this. The Indy 500 was a nightmare for some drivers, obviously. We talked about last week's McLaughlin, who couldn't even get the dang thing going. The poor guy wrecked in the very beginning of the race. I mean, we had some things like that happen. Obviously, Larson didn't have a great day in either of his races last week. But I'll tell you, we talked about that obviously all through the week last week. But I will say it was a special day for Kirkwood, though. This is something he looked good in this race. He had to battle. This was a consistent battle throughout the entire. I love IndyCar because all cars are the same, Adam. Everyone is equal. This is not Formula One where some cars are faster than other cars. And obviously, hint, hint, who's going to be in the freaking front? The faster cars because they can afford more. It's like the Yankees and the Dodgers right now. You know what I mean? It's like that's more money. Therefore, they do more. IndyCar, guess what? Everybody's equal. What driver is best that day?
And some days you're the lead dog. Some days you're the back of the pack. Well, speaking of F1 and people that are doing a lot of winning, Oscar Piastri, that's what, 5 victories now on the season. Save some for the rest of us, maybe, Oscar. But then again, you're in Spain. You're enjoying life there. Why not take the checker as long as you're there?
Exactly. And I'll tell you right now, Oscar Piastri, man, this year has been something for him. I mean, look, this is crazy. This season, he's been the top dog, and it's great to see him. I really do. Okay, we just talked about it, man. Formula One is. I like Formula One. I've always liked Formula One, but for some reason, it seems like Formula One doesn't like any of us. That's kind of what it is. That's kind of what it's like. It's just Formula One is cool, but it's not going to give you. And there's going to be, the Europeans are going to hate me for saying this, but it is what it is. They also hate me for calling the French league, Ligue 1 and La Liga. And even though I love Serie A, they're all freaking. Who the hell wants to watch number 8? Who even knows? I'll tell you right now, nobody knows who Bilbao is. Okay. Nobody knows who that team is unless you follow La Liga. Okay. Marseille, you may know.
Clue. No clue.
Lille, or nobody knows who his teams are. I'm sorry. In La Liga, it's Madrid, Real Madrid, Atletico, or Barcelona. And if you're not one of those three, no one gives a damn about you. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. So that's kind of what it is in Formula One. So now we're getting a little bit of fluctuation where it's not just one guy like Max or like Lewis or even my all-time favorite, the great Michael Schumacher, okay, for Ferrari in the early 2000s. You're not getting that right now. And obviously this is very refreshing. Obviously we talked about last week how horrible Monaco is, and Monaco sucks. Spain isn't much better, but I'll tell you right now, it's really cool that we're getting this right now. We are getting one guy dominating. Okay, we are, but you know what? This is different. We were not going to see, sorry, I lost my train of thought. We were going to see a strong performance from somebody this year, but honestly, I did not think we were going to see it from McLaren. It's not that I don't believe McLaren. It's just that they were the oddball. For the last, 10 years, we've seen the silver arrows of Mercedes. We've seen Red Bull, obviously, with Verstappen. We've seen Ferrari. They've had a strong, obviously, but McLaren's just like a little brother. They're the little peon team that get out of here, get out of my way, pipsqueak. You know what I mean? That's what they are. Well, guess what? They're not anymore. And Piastri has been amazing. This guy has really, people right now are going, oh crap, there are orange cars on the track. I didn't see them before. I'm sorry. I mean, it's crazy, but as of right now,
where did these come from? Who allowed these cars out here?
Exactly. And the crazier part right now is Oscar Piastri leads the points right now with 186. Lando Norris, his teammate of McLaren, is second place with 176. The closest to him is Max Verstappen, the guy who dominated the last couple of seasons, with 137. And then obviously behind him, we have George Russell with 111. With one of these silver arrows of Mercedes, and then both Ferraris behind them. Charles Leclerc with 94 and Lewis Hamilton with 71. They need to get their crap together. I'm a Ferrari fan. They need to give them better damn cars. I know that because those are great drivers, especially Lewis, but whatever. But anyway, as of right now, I'll tell you, congratulations. It's refreshing to see somebody else other than those other three leading, and McLaren's really kicking ass this year.
It's always never a dull moment. Never a dull moment in car racing. All right, let's come back domestically to a city that I'm starting to learn and appreciate a little bit more. Down in Nashville, Ryan Blaney gets his first win of the season, the Cracker Barrel 400 down in Nashville.
Good for you, Blaney. Good for you. You know what? I love it. I love me some Blaney winning, man. The guy is just so appreciative. He's that guy that when he wins, he knows damn well that he may never be in victory lane ever again. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell, like, he wants, I don't know. It's not that everybody else isn't like that, but it's just, like when he won, he's excited, like you got to see it. And it's true because you've heard that so many times. I mean, you don't know if you're ever going to be back there ever again, and this year, this was his first one of the damn season. He hasn't been able to win anything this year. He hasn't been. I mean, and we started back in February in NASCAR. It was almost every single weekend. So this has been a little bit of a drought for him. He's had a rougher kind of a year. But if you look at so far, I mean, my gosh, this year has been. I love NASCAR, man. It's a crapshoot. It is such a crapshoot. You have no idea what's gonna. I mean, being straight up, man, at the start of every single race, especially a track like Nashville, you have a better chance of putting a freaking gumball, a quarter in the gumball machine and picking what color you're going to get versus picking the driver to win. I mean, it's insane, man. I mean, William Byron right now leading with 547, looking good. Kyle Larson, even though he had a crappy last week with the double, the guy still got 499, 48 points back in second place. Christopher Bell, 459 right behind him with 88 points. Denny Hamlin behind with a minus 104. He's at 443 right now. And edging out the top 5, Chase Elliott, man, with 442, a Chevy there. So we got 3 Chevys and 2 Toyotas in that top right now. They look good. Blaney is the first Ford on that list. Back in 7th place right now. He's got himself within 130 points of the lead. He's in the playoffs now. I mean, you know what? Good for him. It was a good drive. And honestly, I'm really, really happy for him and what he was able to do this week.
Yeah, 10-year NASCAR vet. You know, obviously he doesn't get a whole lot of them. Soak it in, enjoy it. Job well done. All right, one last bit of racing here. Funny car up in New England. The hot rodders, we had funny cars, we had Top Fuel. What was going on in New England this weekend?
Thunder, lots of loud thunder, the best kind. Oh, I'm glad you saved best for last year, because yes, I can go on and on about the damn NHRA all day. It's just the king of racing, in my opinion. I don't care. The other ones are cross country runners. These are football players. All right, monstrous, and I'm talking about freaking monstrous vehicles going at insane speeds. In just a matter of moments. You want torque, baby? We got you torque. All right, I'll tell you. So
every time I watch one of these, I'm just always amazed at how hard the drivers have to work just to keep the front of the vehicle grounded and not whee. Though admittedly, that would be entertaining as hell to watch a 4-wheeled car race at a drag race on just its back 2 wheels.
Well, you got to see some of the pro mods, because obviously the ones that aren't these top 3 in the motorcycle when they run, they actually do. Adam, some of these souped up Camaros and everything, they'll freaking do a wheelie. They'll go 12 o'clock all the way down the track. I mean, maybe all the way around track, but it's incredible to see these things. I mean, the amount of power in these machines is insane, right? I mean, right, Adam? I mean, you're talking 330 to 40 miles per hour. And you're going a quarter mile in 3 seconds. It's, I'll tell you right now, the ground, everything around you shakes. I mean, they seriously cause freaking small earthquakes. These things are unreal powers. I mean, it's insane to see them go this damn fast. But yeah, man, this week, I'm very happy. I am a Brittany Force fan, a Force JFR fan right here. Been a Force family, JFR Force family fan as long as my father was one back in the day, when I used to cheer on John Force with him when I was a little kid in the 90s, and he used to watch John Force even before me. And I was been blessed to, on our 7th anniversary a couple years back, to have John Force on this show and talk to him. That was one of the greatest moments of my freaking life, to talk to him. I got teary-eyed. It was a special moment, because I told him how much he meant to my father and how much he meant to me, and how much my dad used to say, I want you to be like John. He's a winner. John wins. You need to be like John. And it was telling him that on air was one of the most special things ever, because he even got a little choked up, because it's the truth, man. I mean, you know, it was just a great thing. It was a great moment. So, but his daughter, Brittany, I've been a fan of hers for so long. Courtney did retire. Marion Graham Rahal, of course, the IndyCar driver, a couple years back, and you know, they're doing their family thing and enjoying it. But Brittany, man, she's still on it. She's racing her monster Top Fuel dragster. Got that victory this week. Tony Stewart has been on one recently. He's leading the points, but in Top Fuel, man, congratulations to her. She's brought herself up just a little bit, up to 6th place at least. She's now 179 points back from Tony Stewart. Obviously, 2nd place, Sean Langdon. Antron Brown behind him, Doug Kalita, Justin Ashley, and then her, of course, Brittany Force. But I'll tell you right now, that was great seeing her win one. She deserves it. Awesome seeing her win that thing. In funny car, man, Austin Prock, let's go, man. Austin Prock looked pretty good. 550 points for him, he looked pretty good, but not this week. It was J.R. Todd who got it done, man. And how coincidental is this? Also, he has now brought himself up to 6th place like Brittany Force did, except for in the funny car standings. So he's 200 or 184 back from Austin Prock, who's leading right now. Then Jack Beckman, Paul Lee, Matt Hagan, and Ron Capps, the legend himself. And then, of course, we have number 6, J.R. Todd, who won that thing. So hats off to him. Happy to see J.R. Todd win that sucker. Also, pro stock, man. Yeah, it would be Greg Anderson because Greg Anderson needed something. This has just been a great race, a great battle between him, Dallas Glenn this year. It's crazy, man. Greg Anderson has 671. Dallas Glenn has 621, only 50 points back. And then 3rd place, this is crazy, Adam, Matt Hartford with 441, 230 points back. It's a 2-man race. I'm sorry. Right now, these two are just going at it. It's awesome to see it. Corey Reed behind him, Eric Latino. But I'll tell you right now, man, it's been awesome seeing it. This has been great. I love the New England Nats. It was a good one. They got me excited. I truly, truly love to see these guys go head-to-head every single week, and gals. And it's awesome, too, because like I always tell everybody, Formula One, for some reason, I don't get it. They don't allow women, and it kind of bothers me. But you know what? IndyCar does. They get it. They do their thing. It's not that I don't know. To me, it's all of us race fans, we think they don't allow. But this is crazy. This motorsport is, in my opinion, the craziest one because, oh my gosh, what can happen to you in those 3 seconds with all that horsepower? But the crazy part is the most women are actually in this, too, of any auto sport. So it's kind of cool. It's pretty cool seeing it. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool seeing these ladies, like even Erica Enders, pro stock. She's doing not so great this year at 9th, but seeing even on the motorcycles, seeing these, I just love it. It's awesome seeing everybody go out there and compete. And it was just a great day at the track for the New England Nationals, and just a great weekend overall in auto sports. To kind of just bring it all together for you, because Adam's like, I got to go have dinner. My bad, buddy. But IMSA was amazing at Detroit. The very next day, IndyCar was amazing at the same exact track in Detroit. Formula One. See, I can't get Ferrari out of my head for being sucky this year. Formula One put on a decent little show at Spain. They were okay. Nashville, NASCAR. Oh, that was a fun one. And then New England Nats. It was a great week. We had all of them going at the same exact weekend. It was a great weekend in auto sports, Adam.
Well, there we go. Well, thank you, Larry, for breaking all that down. Thank you so very, very much. And you are going to be doing the defining moment on Thursday night at this time, correct?
Oh, we will. And we're going to have ourselves some fun, bringing on more of our great insiders, kind of doing the midweek thing, talking a little bit about this stuff here, getting you a little bit ready for what's coming. But of course, the midweek stuff, what are we looking like? It's the middle week show, it's that one where we talk a little bit about, we get into sports, but maybe some more stories, some more of this, some more of that. So we're looking excited on Wednesday, man. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Angela and Fred are going to tear it up. It's going to be a fun one. Wednesday with me, Jen taking over on Thursday. Looking forward for her and lead off Thursdays. And Ricky did a great job last week with the prime time preview on Friday. So we got a great 5 shows going here every day on the weekdays, don't we, Adam?
There we go. We're figuring out our groove. We're figuring out how to make it all work.
It's happening, buddy. So thanks a lot for having me, man. I appreciate you, and I am excited. Shoot, anytime you'll have me for one of these segments, man, I'd love to jump on.
Well, thank you, Larry. I appreciate that a ton. Really do.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right, that is Larry B., the czar and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio. Also, you will catch him on Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern time, doing the defining moment. That is going to do it for the opening series here tonight. Thank you to everybody that jumped on. We had Mike Pat from the Bullpen Bulletin, Fred and Angela, who will be doing this show on Tuesday nights, getting everybody continue to get caught up from over the weekend. Thank you to Jess of Shin Pads and Shenanigans, our soccer show that you can catch on Saturday mornings. I was mistaken. Saturday mornings. And then, of course, Larry B. on the defining moment Wednesday evening. Thank you as well also to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. Thank you also to Vital Apparel, the brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. When you go to vitalapparel.com, use the promo code IESR to get 15% off of your order there. And thank you to Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You're still mailing out stuff. Let everybody know that it is yours just as soon as they see that personalized stamp there on the back of it. Go to iesportsradio.com/Wax Deals, and Cecilia will help you personalize and create your very own custom stamp. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and watched the show live across Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And thank you to everybody listening later on YouTube as a podcast. We really appreciate it. For IE Sports Radio, I am your host, Adam Karnik, saying this is the opening series. We're going to be doing this on Monday nights. We get caught up on everything that happened in the weekend that was and getting you set up for the week that will be. You can also catch me tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern on the Neutral Zone. We'll be getting you set up and ready for the playoffs. But coming up next, right here on IE Sports Radio, it is Karen Rodriguez and Set Point recapping everything that has happened in the volleyball world. So check that out. Until then, I am Adam Karnik for IE Sports Radio. Everybody have a great night. We will see you next time.